guys, today I'm going to be sharing with you my recipe and version for a delicious and creamy and buttery butter chicken. Let's get started. I have some chicken thighs that I have cut up into small pieces, about 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches or so. I'm going to go ahead and season that with some salt, as well as some black pepper. We're also going to add in some chili powder and some paprika. Then we're going to throw in some grated garlic and some grated ginger. We're going to give this a nice toss and make sure everything is coated lovely with everything, and let this marinate for about 15 to 20 minutes. I have 2 small tomatoes, some grated garlic, and 1 large onion that I've just chopped up into small pieces. I'm going to do the same thing with my tomato. I'm just going to make sure and roughly chop that up into small pieces. Just like so, just cut that up. And then I have a large saucepan on medium-high heat with 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. I'm going to add in my chicken. You can do this in batches if you need to. And on medium-high heat, I'm going to sear those chicken to make sure that they get a lovely color on them. And the flavor will intensify on that chicken. So I'm going to cook that and then remove it onto a plate or platter. And then in the same saucepan, after I've removed my chicken, I'm going to add in some butter. That butter to melt down a little bit. Give it a little toss in there, and then we're going to go ahead and add in our tomatoes, our garlic, and our onion. Give that a nice toss. Make sure everything is coated lovely in that butter and that sauce at the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to cover this and let this sweat down and break down for about 4 minutes. My heat is now on medium heat, so I'm going to cover that and let that go for about 4 minutes on medium heat. After 4 minutes, I'm just going to remove my lid. Give everything a nice toss through. And then we're going to start adding the rest of our ingredients. We're going to start off with some vinegar. Regular white vinegar will do. And remember, of course, all the amounts will be listed below in the description box for you guys. Add in your vinegar. Then we're going to add in my special ingredient, which my butter chicken will not be the same without. It's honey roasted peanuts. The sweetness from the honey and the nuttiness from the peanuts are just perfection in this dish. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Then I'm going to add in some granulated sugar, as well as I have 1 can of tomato sauce. I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to take that same can and refill it with some water, and then I'm going to go ahead and add that water in. Added in the water. I'm going to go ahead and add in some garam masala. Add that in, and I'm going to give everything a nice mix. And what I'm doing is also trying to make sure and get everything off the bottom of that pan. That is flavor, and that's good stuff, and we want that in our sauce. Mix that all around, and then we're going to add in some dried fenugreek leaves. They're little tiny dried leaves. Going to go ahead and add that in. We're going to cover this and let this cook for about 15 minutes on medium heat so everything breaks down and that all those flavors come together beautifully. So just go ahead and let that go for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, I'm going to remove my lid and turn my heat off and let this cool for a little bit before we put it in our blender. I'm going to be using my regular blender for this. I know some people like to use a hand blender. I'm going to be using my regular old blender. So after it's sort of cooled down, I'm going to add it to my blender and blend it up to make sure that it's really smooth as possible. Then we're going to run it through my heat-proof sieve here and make sure and get all of that sauce out of there. Use your muzzle for this, guys, because you really want to strain out all that sauce. It may look like it's drying out, but once you really press down on it, you get all of that amazing sauce out of there. And just keep the remnants back, we don't need that. But into our same saucepan on medium heat, I'm going to turn my heat back on to medium. I'm going to add in that amazing velvety, smooth, rich, creamy sauce. Then I'm going to add in some more butter. And just wait for that butter to kind of melt down a bit. After that butter has been melting down, we're going to go ahead and add in those chicken pieces. Those chicken pieces were cooked for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side to develop a lovely sear, but just they're fully cooked through, we're going to add them to the sauce, as well as any juices that were rendered out onto the plate. We're going to toss it around in the sauce. And we're going to cover this and cook this for about 10 minutes or so on medium heat, just to make sure, again, that all of those chicken pieces are thoroughly cooked through. So go ahead and cover that and let that go for about 10 minutes on medium heat. After that, I'm going to add in some hot pepper flakes. Now this is optional, but I really do like that little extra kick and heat from this. I do love it to be a little bit spicy. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in, and then we are going to finish with some heavy cream. Add in some heavy cream. Give that a nice little mix, and this is just going to cook 2 to 3 minutes just till that cream heats through and it gets incorporated throughout everything. And that is it, guys. The butter chicken is done. Serve this with a side of like naan. I will have that recipe in the description box for you guys. This is so amazingly delicious. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's rich, it's sweet, and it's kind of tangy with a little bit of spiciness, and it's nutty. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I hope that you guys enjoy this recipe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Do remember this is not traditional, but it's delicious. I will have the recipe for the garlic naan in the description box for you guys. And thanks for watching again. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.